This is gonna get crazier than usual. So I was reading about history, and this time it's about religious ideas. There's this book, plainly titled "A History of Religious Ideas," and the author is brilliant professor. His name is Mircea Eliade. I'll put the link in the description so you can check it out. It's, well, as the title suggests, a history of religious ideas that's about it. But when you start to read it, it's a kind of difficult book to read because it's hardcore non-fiction, like 500 pages, and it's just the first volume. There's volume 2 and 3. So I just finished it and learned a lot. I really like it. It shines a lot of light on not only about those rituals that we do, like for example, it's Christmas time, or no, that's a bad idea. Another example, for example, Easter. When Easter comes, there's an Easter bunny and there's Easter egg hunts. But what does Easter have to do with like bunnies and eggs, right? Easter is about it's the Lenten season, so it's like it's the crucifixion of Jesus Christ. So what does like after that, why is there like a rabbit and eggs? How did that come from? It's, if you think about it, it's kind of like, what? Wacky? Well, why? What is it about? So yeah, the book will reveal in a really pleasant way why you go on Easter egg hunts. This is for Western countries. It's also it also happens here in the Philippines, like in the cities, but out in the provinces there's no Easter egg hunts. It's still the what's commemorated is the crucifixion of Christ, and Lenten season, no eating of meat, no it's a whole tradition over here in the Philippines. So the book, the book reveals that to you as you read it. And it doesn't begin during Christ's time. It begins way back when people were just first domesticating fire. It's that far. It's like the early peoples, like the first inhabitants of this earth, like humans, when there came to a point that the whole world is mystical. Like your early humans, and someone domesticated fire, and the technology of fire brought so much to the human civilization, like millennia later. So yeah, there's fire worship, and as technology progresses, the notions of the sophistication of what's what do you call that? How do I put it? I can't find the right words. But for like religious ceremonies, it's religion is a big part of society. Like it's, I think, one like maybe the glue that binds them together, because there was religion, and after religion, so there was religion, and there was like the priestly class that only practices that religion. Like they are they hold the mysteries, the mysteries of their civilization. The priestly class holds the stories, and the priestly class knows the secrets of, not only, they're more like scientists and priests at the same time, shamans. um yeah, they um they were that, they were highly esteemed. So they do, when they do worship, when it's time to worship fire, the fire god, the god who gave fire, that we should be thankful so much about. um yeah, there's rituals. Well, one of the more interesting ones is barbecue. So to honor, actually it's not just the god of fire, but to honor barbecue, like once upon a time, like way back, when again it's the infancy of human civilization. There was a point that barbecue is a way of sacrificing. It's to show your devotion to the gods, and not only, it's not just the god of um the god of like your clan. Like some people worship their ancestors, especially in Asia. But in terms of like worshiping the great creators, you do barbecue. And what you pick, when before you kill your food, before you go feast on an animal, um yeah, there it's treated as a sacrifice. You pick the best one to kill, and then you butcher it, you kill it, and then you offer it to the gods by way of barbecue. Some groups do like legit barbecue. They eat the offering after, they set it on fire. But some other ones, they just burn the whole thing, like burn the whole animal to appease the god of fire and to celebrate fire. So like, knowing that, like, things, the book is like, it's all about that. As human civilization progresses, the gods, um the religions of the old get mixed with the religions of the new. The Some religions, for example, a good example is one of those religions of nomadic people, compared to religions of agricultural people. So there was a story about, there was this agricultural civilization. Like, they stopped roaming around. They started to farm vegetables, and then like herd cows, horses, like agriculture, horsemanship, animal husbandry, stuff like that. And that group of people gets attacked by still nomadic peoples. Think about the Mongols. Like, Mongols will attack your city, and they have a different belief system. So like, these Mongols, I can't remember the exact, but I won't delve into the specifics. I just want to share how brilliant this book is. And if you like reading history, and you like to know more about social social pressure points, um, and you want to understand the current landscape, the point of view, or I mean in the context of the evolution of religious belief. It's really fascinating. um I think I may have to read it again. It's long, but I'm willing to read it again to understand more. Because when I first read it, I was just like, enjoying my moment. Like, uh, like it's fun to read. Like, it starts slow, but it gets really fascinating once they talk about, like, they started making references to past chapters. It's like that. It, oh, another thing is about the myths. So because religion is closely tied to myths, it's like the Greek mythology in the end, near the end chapters, they got up to Greek mythology. And yeah, it will also show you how myths help people. I mean, myths help explain to lay people, like not religious people. For example, not part of the priest class or that. Like how they used mythology to communicate moral, moral lessons, but most strikingly, not just moral lessons, but it also reveals like some um existential mind exercises that are paradoxical in nature. And symbologies, there's a lot of symbolism, lots of metaphors. Yeah, some words on the book, I had to look in dictionary. I had to look the definition online to get a better grasp of the context of the sentence or the paragraph, because some paragraphs there was this like one highlighted word, and yeah, they used in the bibliography, it's a mixture of books. There was books from like all around the world, from Asia, from I think Spain, somewhere Italian, somewhere written in German, written in all sorts of languages. It's a really, really enlightening book, which I don't know if I'm going too far with this, but um, reading the book reminded me again of like the relationship between the physical body and your psyche, i.e., your spirit, your soul. So yeah, I think it's the soul that inhabits a human body, and there were religious practices way back, like rituals to renew the soul, and they were called twice born. I don't know if that's where the concept of being born again. Christians, because here in the Philippines we have the born again Christians group, they call themselves. So yeah, there's this notion of twice born, quote unquote, twice dash born. So one, if you don't go through that, then you're not ready to, like, you're not a complete, or you're not a higher, your mind is not in a higher level of being. It's like for male initiation rituals, there's supposed to be a death, some sort of death to the spirit, where the new person, the boy, it's where the when the boy transforms into a man. I've discussed it in one of my episodes, like it's titled like rituals. I think tuli or not tuli, that's the question. But it's in Filipino, so yeah, check it out if you want to learn my take on the like the role of ritual initiation in young males. But going back to the renewal of the spirit, the renewal of the soul, it struck a chord on me, because again, I've heard this news, this terrible news of committing suicide in their young people committing suicide. It's like, why? I mean, not why. It's more of like, not the it's a rhetorical why, but at the same time, it hit me. Perhaps the these suicide victims, their body is okay, but their soul just needs to die. But just the soul. Like, the soul needs to die, the body's still alive. So the soul has a chance to renew itself. There was there's this again paradoxical topics that the book lays out about, like, how death is needed to, like like to spring new life. And that's for the earth, that's for like for fertility, both figuratively and literally. But the soul, again, the death of the soul, they have a concept like that. Here in the modern times, we don't say death of a soul, like but it's one thing that stuck with me, that the soul needs to die in order for the soul to live again. Now hear me out. What if the soul can die, but the body still lives? Like, the soul can die temporarily, like there's a way so that whatever baggage, whatever, like whatever thing is contributing to, like, the soul crushing ordeal of individuals, especially the ones that are driven to end their lives. Perhaps what they wanted to kill was not their body. They just wanted to kill their soul because they can't take it anymore. But since they don't know a way how to give their soul, like, a rebirth, like put an end on their current soul's misery, they had to go through, like, killing the body first before killing the soul. But then again, with this book, there are passages, there are parts suggesting that the soul can be killed, and and with that it can be born again. It's it's a really it's a really fascinating idea, and like it shook the foundations of what I've known. Which is I know nothing. Absolutely. It's like but maybe, well, there are researches in this field of like um in, like, let's say in Western countries, the use of psilocybin mushrooms, the use of LSD, the use of um substances like that to induce quote unquote ego death. So their ego dissipates, and then when the drug wears off, their ego is made whole again. They're back, and then it's some reports indicate that it's that kind of transformation is one of the highlights of their lives. Like some terminally ill patients, once they've undergone that killing, that ego death, when they go back, they're not afraid to transition. They're not afraid of death anymore. So yeah, the book, I'm talking about the book when I sorry, the it really shines a lot of illumination concerning like what we could do first as individuals. Like, how can we it well, warning before I go on: once you read this, there's no going back. But that's for me. But there's no going back for me. Like, the things I've known now are like, of course, the there were revelations, but the good thing is, I think, the world became mystical again, personally, for me. Because passage of time is, can make you feel old, and all of that existential stuff that we all need to carry with us. But with this book, and just reading it and paying attention to it, and just really having fun with it, the world has mystery again, and the world became mysterious again. Like, I've lost that because I've been busy with the other world, like the world of adults, like responsibilities and the material world, and I haven't revisited the realm of the sacred. And yeah, I just had to do it and share. It's a great book to read before before you transition away. wherever you may be going. So yeah, thanks for listening, and yeah, I hope you're doing well and sincerely staying safe in these times of COVID-19. It's hard, especially for the ones who are alone, who are only at the company of their computers and their smartphones. And to those who are getting wet by the rains, I hope you all the best.